Hello and welcome to edupediaworld.com. We have already studied about how we need to determine the laws of returns to scale with one tool of analysis, that is isoquant curves. In this session, we'll be studying about laws of returns to scale which will be determined through other tool of analysis, that is production function. Now let's see and revise that what is production function. When we talk about production function, it is basically a mathematical relationship between the input and output of a particular product. It shows that what will be the effect of usage of more and more inputs on the output of a product. Suppose I talk about a very simple production function, that is quantity of X, the commodity produced, is a function of labor and capital. Now this is a very simple production function where I have used only two inputs, that is labor and capital, and because we are studying about the long run, so in the long run both the labor and the capital will be variable, that is they will change with the change in the output produced. Now see, let us assume that the production function, this function is homogeneous in nature. Now what does homogeneous means? It means that all the inputs will increase in the same proportion. That is labor, if I double the labor, I have to double the capital. So this is a homogeneous production function. Now say, if all the inputs, if I suppose that all the inputs increase in the same proportion and that proportion is suppose a small k, and if the output also increases with the same proportion, that is k, this particular production function is said to be homogeneous of degree 1. Now let me show that. Suppose my production function is like this, that I am increasing the labor with small k, as well as I am also increasing the labor with the same proportion, that is small I am also increasing the capital with the same proportion, that is small k. So the quantity of commodity X produced will, if it increases with the same proportion, that is k, small k, this particular production function is said to be homogeneous to degree 1, and it represents constant returns to scale. If we revise upon, constant returns to scale means that the quantity of output increases in the same proportion as we increase the quantity of inputs. So this is a homogeneous to degree 1 production function. Now in every case this constant returns to scale may not be applicable, because the level of output increases or decreases and it is not according to the level of input used. So in other ways we can express the production function like this. Suppose we take a constant as h, small h, hqx is equals to a function of small k labor comma small k capital. Now see, in this particular production function I can derive to three conclusions. That is, first one is, if this small h is equal to small k, then this is a situation of constant returns to scale, which means that my output increases in the same proportion as I increase the input. Next conclusion is that if my small h is greater than small k, then this represents increasing returns to scale. Which means that my output increases more than the increase in the inputs. And if this small h is less than small k, then it means that diminishing returns to scale. And this means that my output increases less than the increase in the proportion of inputs. So likewise, we can, through the production function, also analyze the laws of returns to scale. Now, there have been various approaches to this production function. We'll be studying about that. The first one we'll be studying about Cobb-Douglas production function. Now this production function was given by Charles Cobb and Paul Douglas. This production function is a particular functional form of the production function, and it is used to represent the technological relationship between the amounts of two or more inputs. Particularly, we take capital and labor only, and the amount of output that can be produced by those inputs. Now let's see that how do we formulate this Cobb-Douglas production function. Now we are going to use the most standard Cobb-Douglas production function for a single good with two factors of production. Let's see. The function is y, which is our total product, is equals to a k to the power alpha and L to the power beta. This is the Cobb-Douglas production function. Now let's see what does all the constants mean here. Y is the total production. That is, it is the real value of all the goods produced in a year. Then L here is labor input. It means the total number of persons hours worked in a year. Then K here means capital input. That is the real value of all machinery, equipment and buildings. And capital A is total factor productivity. And here the alpha and beta basically refers to the output elasticities of capital and labor. Alpha is the output elasticity of capital and beta here is the output elasticity of labor, which means that by what percent our output will change if capital changes, and that elasticity is measured. The elasticity of capital to output is measured by alpha, and the elasticity of labor to output is measured by beta. So alpha and beta here are the output elasticity of capital and labor. Now other thing is that beta here will always be equal to 1 minus alpha. That is, if we know the value of alpha, we can easily derive the value of beta. Beta will always be equal to 1 minus alpha. Now let's see what is its practical implication. Now suppose that alpha is equals to 0.45%. Now this means that if I increase the capital by 1%, the change in the total output, that is the total output, will increase by 0.45%. So this is how we measure the responsiveness of output to the change in the levels of either labor or capital. Now further we can also say that if we have to derive the law of returns to scale through this production function, we can say that if alpha plus beta is equals to 1, now this elasticity shows us that it is constant returns to scale. This production function has constant returns to scale, which means that doubling the usage of capital and labor will also double the output y. The other thing is that if alpha plus beta is less than 1, then this signifies decreasing returns to scale. And if alpha and beta is greater than 1, then this signifies increasing returns to scale. So this was the Cobb-Douglas function. That is why our output is equal to A, this is factor productivity, into k to the power alpha and L to the power beta. And this is how we can determine the law of returns to scale through this production function. Now I suppose that Cobb-Douglas production function must be clear to you all. It is a simple production function that represents the technological relationship between the amount of two or more inputs, and the inputs which we use is capital and labor, and the amount of output that can be produced by those inputs. Now we'll be studying about a different type of production function, that is Leontief production function. Now why this is different as compared to the Cobb-Douglas production function? Because here we don't particularly focus on taking labor and capital as the inputs. We do use two inputs, but that is not necessarily labor and capital. And we also assume under this production function that one input cannot be substituted for the other input. So let's see what is a Leontief production function. The Leontief production function, or fixed proportions production function, we also call it as fixed proportion production function. It is a production function that implies the factors of production will be used in fixed proportions, as there is no substitutability between the factors. That is, one factor cannot be substituted with the other factor. If we remember about the isoquant curve, in case of isoquant curve, we were substituting labor with capital in order to get the same output. But this production function assumes that we cannot substitute one factor with the other factor in order to get the same output. Now let's see what is a Leontief function. We represent it in this form. Q, that is the output, is a function of Z1 upon A comma Z2 upon B. Now here we can see that we are not taking labor and capital. Here Q is the quantity of output produced. Z1 and Z2 are the utilized quantity of input 1 and 2. That is the quantity 1 is input and 2 is the other type of input, and Z implies the utilized quantity of this input, that is the used quantity in order to produce Q. And A and B are technologically determined constants. Now we can take a very simple example to show this. Suppose we have to produce car, and there is only two inputs. This is just an assumption that there is only two inputs used in order to produce the car, that is tire and steering wheels. I'm taking a very simple example. So here in this case, the our Q is car, Z1 is tire used, and Z2 is steering wheels. So we can denote the function, the Leontief function, in this form. It will be equal to number of cars, that is Q, will be equal to a function of 1/4 times the number of tires, comma 1 times the number of steering wheels. Now here 1/4 and 1 is our technologically determined constants, that is A and B. See here, 4 tires are used to make one car and 1 steering wheel is used to make one car. So that is why 1/4 times the number of tires and 1 times the number of steering wheels. So this is a very simple example of Leontief production function. That is, number of cars depends upon the usage of tires and steering wheels, and none of the inputs can be substituted for one another. So this was all about theory of production. In the next session, we'll be starting with theory of cost. Till then, have a nice time and thank you for watching Edupedia World.